Hey, how's it going, all you lovely people at Door Shutter, coming back to you with a brand new episode of Project Architect 2. And today, I have completed the 3 system thing. I actually added brass tunnels into this because the smart chutes weren't just quite working well enough, in my opinion, just because we had so much backflow and it caused issues. So I added the brass tunnels with filters of the crushed iron and the nuggets, and that is allowing for us to pipe them off into a depot, and then we're just kind of dropping them. So I've got demagnetization coils here so I don't pick that stuff up, but this seems to be working. It's actually a little bit more compact because I've actually got one electric motor running all of the belts and everything. I'm actually using a parallel gearbox as well, which this, I was assuming, I didn't actually know this, but it allows for this gearbox, which changes the rotation of the input to the opposite, and it allows for me to do the exact opposite of the other gearbox, so that way everything is running in the same direction. So parallel gearboxes, fantastic. I didn't even look at the ponder. I was just like, you know what, I'm going to try this, and it seems to have worked. So that is beautiful. That is golden. I would assume I probably could actually run a parallel gearbox here and just run things up, and I wouldn't need this secondary gearbox, but I think for now we're doing good. I've also got L-shaped gearboxes here to run these little belts and stuff. I just kind of was experimenting around a little bit off camera, right? And yeah, I mean, this is functioning. Of course, we still have the entangled block and everything under here that's piping into this. And now, I think it's time for the disenchanter. So let's get sandpaper. Let's get the disenchanter. So from what I'm understanding is we just take this, we drop this. Oh, we don't drop this. Oh, that's actually an XP tank drain thing. So how do I go about disenchanting this? Oh, do I need to use a belt? Is that what's happening? I must use a belt? Okay, I'm going to break this. And I guess we'll just pull out a belt. I think that'll work. Yeah, we could just do disenchanter probably right here. And I want to try one thing. I've still got some entangled blocks bound to that drawer. So I'm going to use that. And I'm actually going to try to pipe this in rather than belt it in. And if this doesn't work, oh well, we'll just belt it in. I just want to try. Okay, so that does work. Except for when it's full, it just keeps spitting. So I don't probably want to use that. I probably want to use a belt. So let's grab some shafts. So I think I can just make a belt this long. Doesn't really matter how long I use it, as long as it will allow me to do what I need to do. And let's pop that off. And let's just go for a hopper. Okay, and then motor. And then flux point. Alright, we'll just grab a flux point here real quick. And let's turn this on. Okay, so that actually does have a problem. Because it will not let me do anything if this is full. So that's actually kind of a weird thing where it just pops off after the fact. Okay. Well, I wasn't expecting that to be an issue. Is there anything in here mentioning how we go about... Okay, so that's actually pretty cool. You could disenchant stuff with this. But that's not really what I'm looking for. The nuggets of experience. But that is the disenchanter. And this is all the information you get. There's nothing on it talking about actually stopping this from operation. Okay. Well, I think in this case, if we need a lot of liquid experience, I probably want to look at something like the 256K fluid storage or a fluid drawer. A fluid drawer might actually be better. The drawer I have upstairs is liquid XP, isn't it? Fluid XP. And this is liquid experience, so this is two different things. Okay, so let's grab 4 of these guys, and let's go for the fluid drawer. And I am going to just pipe this using fluid pipes. Ooh, can I use fluid pipes? Okay, so it has to be like this. And the netherite upgrades, which this is going to be 2.1 million. Is it? Yeah, 2.1 million buckets. Okay. So that should work there. And then I just got to link this to the system. And then lock this. And then void upgrade. Because if I get that many buckets, I will not need any more buckets. Same thing there for the nuggets. Alright, let's toss this in here. So then, if I put this back, electric motor, flux point, this should never get full. Right? Because we've also got the ultimate pipe upgrade. That should be fantastic. Okay. So that solves that issue. I will just leave it be like that. And the next thing, we probably want to take away the hopper and put an item pipe. We'll see how far we can push this. Because if I do this, and then this, is it able to drain quick enough? Yes, it is. Okay. So this is going to eat through a lot of our nuggets of experience, which is exactly why I did 3 of these systems. It's not the fact that I think we'll run out of experience. I think it's the fact that we're going to have so much liquid experience that it's just going to tank our stock of that stuff. Okay. So from here, we need to then get the... I guess I took this off for some reason. So we need to then go... So we need to get the blaze cake, which is the next thing, because we don't actually have that. So these other things are just going to be EMC links. There's not going to be a whole lot of problems with that. Yeah, I think that's about it. We just need to get this. So a fluid encapsulator from thermal, or fluid by spout, and we just need to make that. So this is only mechanical press and basin from create. We can't do it any other way. Okay? So let's get working on that. Alright, so quickly I have a drawer for eggs, sugar, and cinder flour. This all is pretty simple. 2 mechanical squeezers for sugar, just so we have enough. We're pulverizing down netherrack. Of course, EMC links are down here. Yes, I could just keep an EMC link here and just pipe into a basin, but I wanted to just have like a backflow just in case we have any other issues. But let's get this pushed over 1 because I put it over too far. We're going to do this. Actually, could I do that? I don't think I've ever tried to put a mechanism cable on one of these guys. I guess I could, if I place it correctly. And then get the piece there. And we just increase the speed here. So I've got the blaze cake base already, so I put 1 of each of these items in here. And then what I want to do now is just grab some item pipes. And pipe in all of that stuff. And we're gonna then mute and mute and mute. Goodness gracious. Okay. And then let's grab a functional storage drawer. So I've got 1 cake base, so we should just be able to put that guy in there. Do that. And then if we grab a faster pipe upgrade here. Perfect. So that should be cruising. Looks like we are doing good. So I'm going to just keep this at 2,000. So the next portion is the fluid encapsulator. Okay, fluid encapsulator. So I'm going to put this guy here. And I think I can do input, auto input. And then I also want to grab a magma crucible. And an EMC link of cobblestone. And this will be to make lava. And I guess we just need to power this now. Okay. And then we just want to grab some stellar components. I want to grab one more of these guys. And flux linkage amplifiers if I can. Perfect. And then functional storage drawer. For output. There we go. Okay. So that is Blaze Cakes. A little bit weird of a system. The weirdest one I think I've done. But this is working. And it's going to get us at least somewhere with this. We already have 220. I'm actually going to link this one back to our system. Just in case. That should be golden. I won't link any of the other parts because we don't really need them. And I think, as of now, that should get us this portion, the bottom superheated portion. Now we just need to get the liquid XP, get the lapis lazuli, and ink sac put together. And what I actually want to do real quick is I want to grab fluid pipes. So I want to grab some fluid pipes here. Because I want to pipe this out the front. So I'm going to quickly shift that. Relink it. Knock this out. And then grab some blocks for our floor. Because I've knocked out several pieces. Okay. And then I think what we want to do is just grab EMC link. Mark 5s. We'll just do that. And I'm going to put this guy on the floor, this guy on the floor. And lapis. And glow squid. Glow ink sacs, whatever they're called. And then at pipes. Oh, I've already got the item pipes here. But we actually want universal. And we want a basin. And we also need a blaze burner, which I don't think I have a blaze burner. Oh, I actually do. I'm kind of surprised. I didn't actually know I had a blaze burner on me. I thought I used it. Okay. And then we want to do a set recipe, but I don't think I have that recipe right now, right? Because I need to do liquid XP. So let's just snag this. Snag this. Okay, interesting. We'll just have to do that. And I'm going to disable that. And let's grab a mixer. And then we just need the blaze cake. And that should be liquid hyper experience. Okay. So I'm just going to do this, and do that. Grab some of these guys. Because that should be exactly what we need. And also, let's just quickly, while we're at it, speed it up. And this will be another drawer of fluid variety. We're gonna have to do probably 1 block away. Actually, no. We should be able to do this right next to it. And is this bucketable? I don't think it is. Okay, not bucketable. So how do we get this into here? Fluid encapsulator. So I have a fluid encapsulator. I just threw a bottle in here, but I just did the pull auto input, and I'm able to bottle this. So that should be good. And that is exactly the item we need. So actually, do we really need a drawer? I would love to have that drawer. But let's just try a puller upgrade. And that is from the north, so that should work. And we'll grab a functional storage drawer. Upgrades. Okay. So we will use the fluid encapsulator to continue this, but I just want to make sure we have that. And then we need to set up automating the blaze burner, because he is now not superheated, but he is still going. So blaze cake. Is this thing craftable? This thing is craftable. So this would actually be something we'd want to look at in the future. Okay. This guy got like a comparator signal. So he's got a 3. Is that because he's on like super high, like the superheat method, or is it because he's got 140 seconds? I want to watch this. Okay, so I can confirm that this, if it loses power 3, it's now back to the normal blaze burning. Okay, which is actually really cool. I actually did not know that. So, integrated, and we want to look for a redstone reader, because what we should be able to do with this is we actually should be able to put this here and crash the game. Honestly, the game crashing was not planned. I was so thrown off by that. It really... Oh, goodness. Okay. Back to it. Redstone Rider. Hopefully when I place this, it doesn't crash the game. Here we go. Okay, it didn't. I'm so out. Like, that threw me off. Oh. Okay. So we are looking for some variable cards. I really have no idea why that crashed. I really didn't look into it. I'm gonna go with it at this point. Let's see. Where is our logic programmer? So we want to make sure that we have an integer that is 3. And we want to grab the comparator. Okay. And we want to say equals equals, or just equals. And we want to say this equals this. Do that. And we'll need a variable store. So we'll just put that guy right here. And we want the redstone writer to do this. And strong power. Actually, I think I technically want to do this a different way. Hold on. It's not equals equals that I want. It is actually not equals. So if this does not equal this, then we want this to be true, not false. So how bottom here we can see it's true. So that's what we want, because basically we're going to provide a power signal to a modular router with an activator module. And we're going to say if the power is high, we're going to want to activate this. Which we do need the energy upgrade and actual power. So flux point. Actually, I already have a flux point on me. I could have just used that. Ah! Stop it. Okay. That was because I had this on attack, apparently. Alright. That is good for that. And if we do a blaze cake, this should activate that. And this now is false. So this should not work again. So if we put blaze cakes in here, this should not send any more blaze cakes until this runs out of time. So that's just a quick, simple little thing that I wanted to do. I was kind of just curious in general, but that seems to work. So now we just need to get the pieces over here, so that way we can actually provide enough for the modular router. So let's go, let's just do control access point. Why am I putting this down here? I could just grab a puller module and add a blaze cake to this. So that's the only item it can pull. Whitelist. And then we just do this. And that should be good, I hope. Guess we'll know whenever this runs out. So I'm going to sit here for a little bit, waiting for this to break, or work, or whatever. And I'll be right back once it does. Also, while this is happening, I just realized we're at 4 quadrillion EMC. I didn't even notice that. But we do actually have quite a bit of EMC coming out. Not even millions yet. You can see that we're only like 100,000. We aren't even touching the millions on pulling items out of our EMC links, which is kind of baffling, by the way. Just, I would expect that we're somewhere close to that, but apparently we're not even close. How are we doing over here? So we're at 57,000, and we're at 412. So we're at almost 500,000 buckets, which is really nice. Okay. Perfect. Perfect, perfect. I actually may take some of these guys out. 512. I think we'll do that. And the reason I'm thinking that is mostly because... Actually, hold on. If we do that, this is going to actually cause an issue. Hope this is about to happen. Perfect, it did. So, the issue is if this gets full, this will stop... This will need to stop running. Can we do redstone control to this? I always forget. So we can. So if this thing gets full, we want to turn this off. Well, I guess we could always look at integrated and look at fluid. Because this thing actually works as a tank, I do believe. So if we do tank full, and we just get a redstone rider, and hopefully we won't crash again with using any of these pieces. And we just do this. And once this hits full, it should cease operation. I think that'll work. I hope. Have no idea. Okay. And then we just want to do fluid encapsulator. And I think we'll do a functional storage drawer that'll get up to 2,000. So let's do output top, auto output, input back. So let's move this back. And I actually want to rotate this drawer real quick. Just so that way we can see the amount. But I want to do this. Oop, this is a problem. I did not lock this. Alright, so let's lock that. Add it back to our AE2 system. And then input. And then we're going to do this drawer. And we want to grab an EMC link for bottles. So glass. I hope these are EMCable. They are. So glass bottles. Perfect. And that should start getting us bottles of Hyper XP, which are used somewhere. Are these used? How are these used in the final star? So I don't think these are specifically used, because these are looking like you have to just use that. So is that kind of a misleading thing? Because I understand you can drain these, so I might actually stop this. Because if I don't need this, I don't want to waste my time getting it, right? So let's just do... Ooh, can I not do that? Can I grab some buckets? I want to clear this thing. Okay, it doesn't look like I can. Hyper... So the other way is item draining. Okay. Well, let's let this go. But we won't have any more input. We'll just let this drain until it has none left. And then we just won't do it. I thought they were used. So that's my bad. But that should be okay. I think we should be golden. But we're getting plenty of liquid hyper experience. I will do the item draining and stuff off camera. That's not going to be too complicated. But yeah, I think that'll do it for this episode. I hope everything functions properly. I hope everything just kind of is good. I don't know if I'm doing a lot of this stuff right, to be honest. So, alright. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stay awesome. I can't wait to see you in the next one. Bye-bye.